Hey everyone, I wanted to take some time to thank my patients, friends, and family, and subscribers to trust me with your care, and also encourage me to take care of my own health. This quantum shift that I'm going through should be pretty exciting, maybe a little bit of a roller coaster, but hang on, it should be a good ride. Don't forget to give a thumbs up, otherwise enjoy the next video. Ooh, it is cold out. So I felt compelled to do my quantum shift episode today. This is episode 8, and the struggle is going to be, well, put it this way, before I even talk about the struggle, the biggest struggles, or the most challenging struggles, the worst of the worst as far as suffering, I think will bring out the best solutions and the best in people. And if you don't find your best, then you should help or get help from others to figure out that GPS or that map to get to that hill. And I just finished 10 laps of Swallow Cliff Stairs. And even if it's cold outside, it's like 5 degrees, and there's nobody here, which is why I preceded this episode with my flyaway. For anybody that's interested in nature, and I always find coming back to nature gives me the best time to reflect. Meditation does that too, but it's not during the meditation that you get the reflection, it's after the meditation. Because in meditation, you want to try to get to this level of mindfulness that helps you slow down the multitude of things you're supposed to think about. And the problem with today, as you'll see in my multitasking video, is that we just are way too busy. And when we're busy, I think we can get by, but you're going to take on more tasks, probably have a false sense of security that you can handle a lot of tasks, when in actuality it's taking you more time to complete multiple tasks at all the same time. So I would always say take some time off. And with the studies on Japanese forest bathing, when people go out into the woods 30 minutes, just sit there surrounded by nature, and then they come back, blood pressure's lower, heart rate's lower, stress response is better, but that's assumed based on inflammatory markers of the blood being lower than when you went out to the forest. That's pretty, I think there were small studies, or a small study, one, but still, do you need to have $1 million study to tell you that being in nature is calming? No, but I guess some people who are really just pressed for time to give the value of adding something else of a task in the form of meditation is probably empowering when you see the data. Just like acupuncture. A lot of people, when they come off of the acupuncturist's table or chair, they feel great, and that's not placebo. I mean, if you're with somebody that's a healer and you're just in their presence, I think there's a great feeling you can get from that person, or being in the proximity of that person. So, but that's very short-lived. When you have a healer, and that healer knows how to apply needling, especially in the form of traditional Chinese medicine that has been around for 2,500 to 3,000 years, you'll have a compounded positive effect from being with that person and having a session with a treatment plan for the meridians or energy circuits that are lacking or blocked up with you. And see my video that I'll put out probably today on acupuncture with Dr. Angel. So yesterday I had my acupuncture, not to go off course, yesterday I had my acupuncture session with her, and it was mostly to film for you guys, but I forgot how good acupuncture was. I used to do it before, and I told Dr. Angel that when I first learned, I applied needles to Shirley, and she was a chronic headache sufferer from the practice that I joined up with right out of sports medicine fellowship. And we didn't have pain clinics back then, but she was going from one practitioner to the next within the group. And I said, you know what, I'm gonna try putting some needles in. I learned this thing at UCLA. So I reluctantly said, you know what, just sit there, I'll put some needles in. And lo and behold, she had no pain. She had no pain for the first time in like 10 years. And that's including her getting, I don't know what we were using for pain medicine back then. I think it was Tylenol with codeine. And that's a positive response. And that's not just from being in my presence, although whether or not I'm a healer, I would think I am, but she had known me before, and even in visits before where we were taking care of colds, coughs, blood pressure and stuff like that, she never left the visit feeling no pain. It was only with the needles and me. I was even, I think, reluctant in telling her, well, we'll see what happens, because I also had reservations. But when she got off the table, hey, Dr. Saguil, no pain. Actually, she had red face too. She walked around with rosacea. Even the rosacea was decreased. Can't do that with medicine. Well, you could do it with medicine like tetracycline if you use it for a long time, but rosacea, usually you just stop caffeine, alcohol, a couple other things, and then the redness decreases. So immediate relief with regards to red face, immediate relief with regards to headache. So that's, again, not to get off course, but the power of acupuncture is awesome. I have to cross this stream without falling down. And so after my session with Dr. Mabel, it gave me a little bit of, I don't want to say clairvoyance, but I came up with this, and this is, so spoiler alert, here's the message with this episode. I keep on battling with myself because I'm trying to find a way between seeing my patients who have insurance and see me through the insurance, and then also spending the amount of time that I think is necessary to problem solve, design out of suffering a way formula or plan. And you know what I've come up with, because I've racked my brains out with this, but after the acupuncture and while I was on the table filming for you guys, there is no solution. The only solution is for me to cut out insurance. And I'm sorry to say that, but I know a lot of you are used to getting wellness. It's actually disease management through the insurance. Even when I have some patients that I say, you have to get to physical therapy. Oh, physical therapy is not covered, I can't afford it right now. Understand. I mean, I understand. So there's no solution to be halfway in and halfway out. Somebody has to suffer. It's either going to be me, and just to stay on for this 120 days or so. Remember, I was supposed to take off. Well, for those of you who are just seeing me for the first time on this quantum shift, I was going to just cut my losses and leave insurance-based medicine for good, and then find my way. I guess I'm crossing a creek. Oh, you guys are going to witness me falling down. So I was supposed to leave on the 31st of January. It is now going to be 31st of January, but I'm still here because when I announced it, I felt good. Sorry, but patients didn't feel good, and I did not want, and if you watch my last episode, other providers didn't feel good because they were also feeling the impact of patients potentially leaving Advocate. So my Advocate guys, it's not my fault. I'm trying to keep everybody within the practice, but I can't sustain this speed. So a couple things I'm going to do. We have 120 days for you guys to maximize to your best degree. 125 days. So those of you, I have about 1% of my patients who I usually say, you're boring, everything's normal, your weight's good, your lifestyle's good, I'll see you in 2 years. I don't like saying 2 years because it seems like a long time, but I have 1% of my patients is boring because I have nothing else to tell them. They're just perfect. And the majority, I'd say 30%, really need a lot of help. And the 30% that need a lot of help usually have already walked away from medicine or added integrative medicine or functional medicine healer in the form of a naturopath or a chiropractor that does functional medicine or a naturopath or an acupuncturist. They've already found their way, and that's cool, but usually it's a combination of both the alternative medicine and the insurance-based medicine. So my 30%, continue on. Stay with the advocate docs and keep on with your other alternative team, and I think you'll do fine. The advocate docs can do the usual ordering, give you rescue medicines in case it's necessary. That's the power of Western medicine. I think it's important. And your alternative team can help chip away and get you to a better level. And then, so that's 1% that are boring and they're really good. They're dialed in. 30% that have found a nice balance, controlled a little bit of the suffering, at least have a map with combination Western medicine, insurance-based medicine, and alternative medicine team. And then there's everybody else in between, which would be 69% of the patients that are watching this. If you're watching this because you have not been able to figure out a way, I'm glad you came to me, but I can't tolerate, just to stay on, as I mentioned before, I'm taking a $30,000 pay cut. And that's, I mean, that's like me buying a car with cash in one day. At least the cars that I buy, used. But I can't afford that. And I'm willing to work with that. And also, probably I'll have to sustain the bill paying, because I have tuition and a couple other things to pay for. I have to work a second job. So I want you to understand that if I don't answer your messages on Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, or the messages on Monday are delayed, it's because I have a second job now. So I have to start compensating the paycheck just to stay on. So I am not going to be able to answer any messages like I did before, unless it's an emergency, but most of my patients don't have an emergency. Refill of medicine's not an emergency, by the way. So, whoops. I'll have to really be strict about devoting my Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday to my second job. And it's probably going to be working at an immediate care center, just to pick up the slack. And or I will not be able to do medical cannabis certification anymore. So those of you who follow me and you use medical cannabis and you're dialed in with that, hopefully you picked up the 1-year card, but I will not be able to do that in the office anymore. So, and all my friends of medical cannabis certifications from before, just trying to see where I'm going to walk here, get to my website, Herbal411, and check out my suggestions and follow me on my YouTube page for other options for you guys as far as getting certified. And not just getting certified, because I had a couple patients go to dispensary with my suggestions, but they got the wrong or different suggestions, and then they wound up calling 911. So please follow me. Don't just get your certification, follow with my suggestions as far as how to dial in medical cannabis for less suffering for you. So I won't be able to do that in the office. I'll be able to probably do it somewhere else. And thirdly, I am going to start coaching, and it's regarding lifestyle change. That doesn't require an MD, because I can't afford to malpractice to go on my own, and I just have to find a place where, ooh, this is spooky, find a place where I can see you, and oh, that's cool, and start the coaching. So in that regard, I'll probably build that up, so I won't be able to take insurance there either. So, but at least if you keep with your team, I can be part of your alternative medicine team as far as fine-tuning. You can see me for coaching. I don't have to pay for malpractice. I just have to get my certification with NASM to be a personal trainer. So I'm a yoga instructor, 400 hours. I'll have personal training certificate, and I'll be able to not only teach you yoga, teach you meditation, exercise you, but teach you a little bit nutrition on how to dial in nutrition for meditation, exercise, yoga, and proper sleep. And that's different than what I do in the medical office. So, and for that, I cannot take insurance. Like most of the alternative medicine practitioners, it's a cash basis. Sometimes you can get into a subscription basis, and I haven't decided on that yet, but that's essentially where I'm going. So, will I lose some of you? Yes, because everybody's on a budget. I'm now on a budget. So if you just stay with the Western-based medicine docs, I think you're safe. As far as the big band-aids, everybody needs big band-aids, but don't always rely on big band-aids. Start saving up now, because when you can afford it, time will come. It's either you will be able to afford it to see an alternative medicine healer like myself, or naturopath, or acupuncturist, or you will be forced to afford it because the only other options Western medicine wise will be multitudes of prescription medicines or a surgical procedure. When it gets to that, it's going to be a tough decision. You can always contact me through Herbal 411. Maybe I can give you a freebie as far as a second opinion, or come in to see me one time. I mean, if I can help make a plan for you one time a year, you just follow up with the Western medicine docs, with the insurance-based docs, maybe that's a good compromise. But I will for sure make your visit with me very helpful for dialing you in. I plan on spending an hour to 2 hours at a time. I was always compressed in the office to half hour. I usually went overtime to 45 minutes sometimes. Sometimes it was rare, because then it would push everybody back with very problematic patients or intense medical problems, an hour, but that's just not doable. And now I'm in trouble for it, because the Advocate Medical Group is wondering, why are you not seeing as many patients as everybody else? And I think I've been honored by Advocate to give me a little bit of leeway and not force me to take 15-minute visits, at least up until 2020. But now, you know, they're paying my salary, and the ultimatum is already set. They have no choice because of the crappy reimbursement. They have to, maybe they don't have to, but I'm sure they're looking at the books and saying I have to be seeing more patients or being faster. So, I mean, there's trickle-down effects of me making the community healthy and sending off to other providers within the group, which I would say is beneficial for Advocate, but that's okay. As far as Western-based medicine, it was never meant to be, but I really enjoy the ride. Again, it is not saying goodbye. You'll always be able to follow me at a distance or on this YouTube channel. So my patients that are new to me, I really apologize, but I'm not leaving. I'll always be around. I have some patients that just follow me on YouTube. They haven't even seen me. And I'm about to launch this international internet-based consult service. So I will try to, I tell you what, once I get up and running, I'll try to make it affordable to my ex-patients. So if you're my old patients, I'll try to work out a plan so it will be affordable to you. But hey, listen, the value is in my knowledge base, and I have some pretty good knowledge, and I will not undervalue my education. I think I'm pretty good compared to the average doc. I think I'm pretty good, not to brag, pretty good compared to the average integrated medicine doctor. So I live the life that I teach and speak of. So I'm just not pulling this out of a protocol. I'm telling you what I do. And now I'm telling you that I'm going to try to head uphill. So if you ever have to traverse a hill, by the way, go sideways, dig into the footing, and then read the road. So I'm trying to read the incline and see which is my best option to get to the summit. And that's what you guys have to do. You have to try to read the obstacles in your way, know what your abilities are, and know who else is around in case you need help. But I think the beauty of trying to get out of our problem is you're not alone. There's always a way. So thank you for watching.